This keeps getting better and better. Yes, this is another Herschell Gordon Lewis review. And I know these reviews sound like I'm ranting or mocking, but these are not rants. I do enjoy these films. I do like them. I just forgot how silly they were. So that's why I'm laughing and joking about them. But this one is, I don't even remember what year this came out. Give me a moment. Well, while I'm doing that, for those that don't know, there is a petition going around for this COPPA shit that's going on. I signed it. The way I found it to find this petition, go to the YouTube channel of Living My Best Life. Find her COPPA Calypse Now video. Watch what she has to say about it. Also in her description, there's links to the petition and the FTC page where you can comment. So I signed the petition. I left 2 comments. It would mean a lot to me and other creators if you could go sign the petition as well. It's very easy. And so yeah, please do that. I would appreciate it. So anyway, back to the review. This is Herschell Gordon Lewis's 1965 film, Color Me Blood Red. This is the 3rd of his Blood Trilogy, which they're all splatter films, so I don't know what the difference is. First was Blood Feast, and then 2000 Maniacs, which will probably be my next review, at least of his. And then this. And what else is funny is my last 2 reviews, like I said, Blood Feast was my favorite. Then I said I think Wizard of Gore might actually be my favorite. I don't remember a single thing from 2000 Maniacs or Gore Girls. I watched those back when I was drinking like 7 or 8 years ago. I don't remember at all. I remember more of 2001 Maniacs, the remake with Robert Englund. But anyway, this one it's not my favorite movie by his, but I think it's my favorite story. Because at least from the ones I've watched this time around, this one has a story that's not completely ridiculous. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not like a guy doing a sacrifice to an Egyptian goddess or a magician that's doing magic with gore. This is exactly what it sounds and looks like. A guy is killing people for their blood for paint, because he's a painter. There is a similar and much less known film like this. Mermaid in a Manhole or Mermaid Down a Manhole. It's one of the Japanese guinea pig films. I do have it. It's actually one of the few of that series I like. Out of the 8 films, there's only 3 I like. And that's one of them. And that's when they stopped being fake snuff films like Faces of Death and ended up incorporating stories. That one is way more gross out than this. This one's just blood. That one is pus and other nasty shit. And 79 minutes. This movie just had me shaking my head. It's not as gory as obviously Wizard of Gore or even Blood Feast. It's pretty much just blood in this. There are a couple bits where you get like chunks of meat and shit. But yeah, there's actually not even much backstory. I mean, obviously it got poor reviews. 'Cause at this time, I think Exploitation was still very new. In fact, I would probably credit Lewis with being the first known doing it. Like, it didn't become a thing after the fact, but the first filmmaker to actually purposely make exploitation films. He was doing it before these, and then when this came along, he was just doing the splatter film, like the splatter exploitation. And I have to say, these black and white stills give the movie more credit than it deserves. I mean, I do like the movie, yes. Basically, you have an artist named, I couldn't even remember the characters' names. You have Gordon O.S. Heim, I'm guessing is how you pronounce it, playing Adam Sorg. And on all his films, you can't click on any of the actors. They went on to do nothing. He's a struggling painter which the film opens and ends with a guy burning a painting and like this thick as paint, almost Italian movie looking blood coming out of the canvas. So it starts, and then we go back in time, we'll work ourselves forward. He's a struggling painter. His usual buyer is unsatisfied. People at the gallery are unsatisfied. And the common complaint is he can't get the color quite right. And he believes it. He lives with his girlfriend, who is one of the... This movie has dialogue that I find it hard to believe someone actually wrote. Like, he did write it. He even has 2 different fucking credits. Screenplay by Herschell Gordon Lewis, directed and photographed by Herschell Gordon Lewis. Which, on the back of this, it looks like a washed up actor playing a bad movie about Peter Lorre. Just some of the dialogue in this movie. Alright, I'll get to that after. He smashes a canvas, and then at night, his girlfriend walks by, and for whatever reason, she's barefoot, but they couldn't have her step on it because there's a nail sticking out of the wood. She barely touches it and starts dripping blood. It's like, okay, could have just stepped on it, would have been... So the blood falls on the canvas. Hours later, it's dry, he picks it up, he's like, oh wow, this actually looks good. So he asks to see her hand, and she's like, okay. He slices her finger and just starts going nuts with her hand. And then he starts cutting his own fingers and going crazy with it. And this was actually something, watching it, I was like, that's actually kind of a neat effect. But I don't think it's what Lewis was intending. It's showing that time is passing by as he's painting. He's getting like kind of woozy. The shot actually like loses focus, almost like to like transition, and then it kind of opens back up and he's like sitting down. And I like to think it was to show that he just lost blood and blacked out, but I don't know if this movie's that clever. Well, he realizes he's going to run out of blood. So what does he do? He kills his girlfriend. Uses her blood. Buries her in an extremely shallow grave. Which he lives in a beach house. And he just covers her over with like the surface beach sand. And of course people love his paintings. But he doesn't want to sell them because they're... Again, I don't know if this movie's that clever, but I like to think it's like his trophies, his a Dexter slides, if you will. And so he has to keep killing more people. Like there's this couple that are like, they're on the beach and have like these pedal bikes on water, which he uses a boat to like, I spit on your grave him, like run him over, so all his blood's going out in the ocean. But he kills them, he does another painting, Again, he doesn't want to sell it. And then you get the third act where he sees this girl that he thinks is pretty. I'm guessing it's a teen. Old people playing teens. And he finds out that her mother is the woman at the gallery that keeps trying to buy his paintings. He wants her to model for him. And she's kind of, And she's with her boyfriend and this really obnoxious couple at the beach. She agrees. She goes over. He has her tied up. The annoying couple find his buried girlfriend, go to his house to use the phone to call someone, only to find her tied up, him with an axe. Boyfriend grabs a gun, shoots him. And then you get the ending where it's burning canvas, and it was his frequent buyer saying, "I'm not burning a painting. It's Adam Sorg's funeral pile." Stupid. But one thing I like on all his films, I think that's a really cool font. It's definitely 60s exploitation, like Hammer, or not even Hammer, but like Roger Corman type font. So like the way the title's on the screen, I mean, that looks great. And I mean, of course, it is bloody. I mean, you do get a, like when he runs over the guy on the boat and it shows his girlfriend screaming, there's like chunks of steak or something in the water. Or like when he has actually, maybe he did kill that guy's girlfriend. I don't remember. I was too busy laughing. So yeah, you like see her insides. Nowhere near as gory as Wizard of Gore or Blood Feast. But also, like, the people in this movie are... Because you have this other critic. Of course, he has the beret and, like, the cigarette holder. And I mean, he is, like, pale, unkempt. His hair's all messy. He's just, like, doing this Kubrick stare. And he's just, like, yelling about how it's not for sale. And the guy just says something stupid like, "Oh, I hate to be his psychiatrist," or something. And they really try to make him look like a painter. He's got the comb over, the striped button-down shirt, a normal bandana that I'm guessing is supposed to be an ascot. But that's the movie Color Me Blood Red. If it sounds like I'm talking really fast, it's because, one, my voice doesn't sound that bad for how stuffed up I am. And two, that's how easy of a movie this is. And so yeah, the fucking dialogue. Okay, where to start? His girlfriend keeps saying, there's like two times where she says, "If we get married," then a dumb joke. First time she says, "If we get married, first thing I'm gonna do is get a divorce." Or when he cuts her finger, "Boy, if we get married, I'm gonna wear gloves." And like, I actually can't believe I'm kind of forgetting some of this dialogue. Oh yeah, the annoying couple. How they find his buried girlfriend, they're running along the beach, and her leg is so shallowly buried that he like trips over her leg, and it kicks up the sand, so like her shin down is exposed. The girl screams, and he literally says in this tone of voice, "Holy bananas, it's a girl's leg." And then they stare at it, and then they just start digging it up. They find out there's more girl on the other end of the leg. So then like the other boyfriend comes up, and he's like, hands on his knees looking down like, "Yeah, that's a girl's body, all right." I get it's an exploitation film. The point of exploitation, what makes it exploitation, and even some of the charm, I'm sure, is the fact that shitty story, shitty acting, terrible acting, but what you want to see is done well. You know, like splatter or gore exploitation. The only thing that matters is the blood and the gore. There are movies like car-sploitation, like Eat My Dust and stuff like that, where everything's shitty but the car stuff. Or blaxploitation, like the movies like Dolomite and Shaft and stuff like that. Nazi exploitation, like Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS. Everything is shitty, but the selling point of, you know, what the movie is. Like sexploitation, pretty much pornography. You ever seen an Oscar-winning performance in pornography? No. There's a ton of shitty dialogue and lines in this. I had a bunch in my head. That's actually why I was rambling through this review so fast, because I didn't want to forget them, and I did. But I remembered the worst ones. Like, seriously, they actually must have sat there and wrote down, "Holy bananas, it's a girl's leg." Which, now that I think about it, like, even though they have, like, pinup girls on the covers and stuff, there's no, like, nudity or, like, sexual scenes, no profanity. Like, there's really no, like, R-rated stuff other than the gore. Like, if you take out the gore, it's almost like for the time, like a movie that Elvis would be in. Especially this, because it takes place on the beach. Of course, they're all unrated. So, while the gore may not be as good or as aplenty as his other films, I would say it was nice to have a more simple story. Like, a struggling painter goes psycho, kills people, uses their blood for paint. Good enough. And yeah, it's campy, it's silly, it's stupid. It's Herschell Gordon Lewis. He's the godfather, the American godfather of gore. Gotta get that right, because the other one is Lucio Fulci, Italian. But I can't really get mad or rant on these movies, because it's not like they're trying to, you know, it's not like they're trying to make like an Evil Dead film, which even that they were goofing off. But I would say the story kind of made up for it, you know, being simple, especially compared to like my last two reviews, Blood Feast and Wizard of Gore. And I know these films are silly, that's why I don't rant on them, but the dialogue in this was the fine line I was riding. If I was going to rant on anything, on any of his films, it would have been the dialogue, especially this one. These are just those Mystery Science Theater 3000 films that you can just sit down and laugh at and get entertainment. Which actually, Mystery Science Theater had a lot of movies I actually like. Like Tormented, Screaming Skull, Squirm I even liked. Revenge of the Creature. But Color Me Blood Red, pretty, I mean, for the director, the kind of film, and the story, I do enjoy it. I guess it's a guilty pleasure. But Herschell Gordon Lewis's 1965 Color Me Blood Red. Thank you for watching.